Back on the podcast, so happy to be joined by Calais Campbell of the Atlanta Falcons. I must say, Calais, you are the ageless one. I can't believe you're still playing football because I think I was in about first grade when you came into the NFL. And I got to start by just asking, literally, what is the secret to lasting till age 37 at a position that you just get beat up so much in the NFL?
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like I got a good team of people that support me as far as taking care of my body and stuff like that. But I think it really is just fortune from God. Like, hey, I'm going out there, playing as hard as I can play. Thinking that it's going to come to an end one day. But as long as I can still play at a high level and I still love the game, just go out there and give them a all. I think I'm kind of a late bloomer. I guess when I was young, I've always kind of was like a little slow to like develop and stuff. So I think it's just just biologically, that part of being a late bloomer, you get a little longer prime. So I'll take it.
So right now you're in your 16th year in the NFL, and also you you haven't missed many games. I mean, there hasn't been a single year where you haven't played at least 12 games. I mean, do you believe it when you look around the league and you see so many players who don't have the same good fortune as you, to have lasted this long and played till age 37 and to be in, your 235th career game or whatever it is. Have you given much thought as to why you've been able to avoid injuries all these years?
Yeah, I think about it all the time, but I feel like, the other day, like, I mean, you're not really in control of it, right? People get hurt. You can do everything the right way, take care of your body, eating healthy, stretching, warming up, all that stuff. But I think it really just comes down to, from favor from God. I mean, football fortune, favor from God, and just, playing ball. But I will say that I never take one day for granted. I know that any moment it can all be taken from me and gone. And especially, as I get a little older, once I got to year 10, I started thinking about it a lot more. Like, hey, this can be over any time, so just enjoy it. And I keep, surprising myself and thinking like, okay, I can still do this at a high level. And, I mean, I got through the season fairly healthy. So, I don't know if it's, what the really main cause is. I do spend a lot of time and resources in taking care of my body. And I'm sure that plays a role. I think, some of it is just, genetics. I feel like, I've been very fortunate. I've been in some bad situations where I got out of there. It's like, I dodged a bullet there, where I feel like I could have broke my ankle or, arm could have ripped off or whatever, just a lot of situations. And so I will say that, I mean, I'm surprised just as much as you are, it is unique, but I will say that I'm very grateful and honored every time I get to step on a football field.
Can I ask you about the 100th career sack you had? And I especially am interested in it because not only are you at age 37 now, but you are in a defense that really has some formidable players up front. And when I look at you play now, there's a lot of times when football players benefit from the guys around them. And also they benefit from being around you. But I look at that way with this defensive front. When you get to play with guys like Grady Jarrett, it seems like it's a tremendous advantage for you. But tell me a little bit about the emotion of getting that 100th sack and what the reaction was.
Yeah, I'll start with the emotion, and then I'll go back to to the guys around me. But I'll say that because I wanted it for so long, and it seemed to be I was at 99 for such a lot of games, and I'm so close to getting there, and quarterbacks are throwing it while I got them in the in my grasp. I mean, I'm getting to the guy, but I just missed a tackle, and he breaks the tackle and scrambles or whatever, took a bad angle, and it's just like, oh, it's heartbreaking because it's like, it was eluding me for so long. So that I just felt like a big relief, just like a weight lift off my chest when I finally got it. And I knew it was going to come because it's just a football play, right? I met this player 100 times before. And so, I knew it was just a matter of time, but it definitely feels good, finally making that play. But I definitely have, I understand that it comes from, from the team. I never made a play in the NFL without having the other 10 guys on the field with me, doing their job at a high level. We all have to, work together to make those plays. And, having the fortune to play with Grady Jarrett has been incredible. I mean, the guy gets double teamed every play. I've literally, been in the huddle, where we're talking in between quarters, whatever, and they're like, we're turning the protection to you every time, to Grady. And it's just like, wow, the respect they have for him. And, I've been that guy the majority of my career. And so it's nice to kind of not have to be that guy anymore. But me and David Ayamada definitely have benefited, from getting those one-on-ones when we're together inside with Grady together. So, we'll continue to figure out ways to exploit that. But it is definitely, cool to see, somebody just on a level of Grady Jarrett's, where he's playing and the kind of football he's playing right now, being able to play next to him and get to reap the benefits of his dedication and taking up those double teams. But also too, like Jesse Bates and AJ Terrell and just Caden Ellis and all those guys on the back end. This the Muhammad sack was definitely felt like a coverage sack. I didn't do anything spectacular move wise. It was definitely quarterback was getting ready to scramble because he never anywhere to throw the ball. And I was like, okay, I can do that. I can stay from scrambling. So it wasn't a spectacular move, but it sure felt sweet, as sweet as any other one I've ever had before.
It's funny. You never used to see defensive linemen play as long as you're playing, 16 years. And, you've also seen in recent years, Tom Brady played till 45, Drew Brees, and others have played into their 40s. What do you think is changing right now in football that is allowing so many players to play longer? And, it's got to be more than just the money. It's got to be the fact that, in part anyway, you still feel pretty good when you get to your mid-30s.
Yeah, I think science is playing a big part of that, right? Information, being able to get information a lot easier has definitely changed things. I mean, nutritionists play a big role. What we put our food that we put in our body is fuel. And so I remember, studying, Tom Brady and the other greats in this league, and kind of like, okay, maybe I should try that too. So I ended up getting with a nutritionist, getting with a chef, learning how to take care of my body. I know, Tom Brady's kind of one of the best examples because he's kind of written the books and talking about it a lot. But having people on the staff who take care of his body for year round. Same thing with basketball with LeBron James. I spend $200,000 a year on my body with specialists coming in to work on stuff. So when I do get things, because football, the injury rate is 100%. I'm gonna get nicked up and beat up, and there's definitely been a lot of games where I wasn't sure if I was gonna play. Last week included. Where I wasn't sure if I was going to play until right before, that Friday or Saturday or game day even. And so it just depends. But, those people that I've worked with for so long, who know my body, understand how hard they can push me and get me back ready to play. Then all that, as well as the team staff, and, they're becoming more and more skilled. And, I think it's easier to find the best people. So I think it's a combination of just information, being able, to find people easier, and then just knowledge and knowing, what it takes to be successful. Why not give everybody the best opportunity you can? I don't know how long, when the rules are going to fall off, but I'm fighting Father Time as hard as I can, round for round. I'm trying to just get another round in.
Do you think that of all the things you've learned in football over the last 16 years, the education of how to take care of yourself has been the most important thing?
Yeah, that's definitely the most important into like longevity. Of course you have to, you have to, be good enough to stay around. And I think that comes from, just working your technique, being consistent, always trying to get better, never being satisfied. But, if you have the desire to keep playing, then it becomes a matter of, giving your body the best care so you can be available. They said the best ability is availability, and so that's just having, the right team, right people who understand my body, making the necessary sacrifices with time and resources to be able to put my body in the best position to be successful, because it definitely is dedication. I mean, a lot of times where, I'm in a room and my son wants to come play and I'm like, I'm working. And he's like, you're always working, and he's only 3, so it's a little easier, but it is, it's tough, but it's sacrifices we make to be, because we love the game so much.
Calais, one of the reasons that I wanted to talk to you now is that in the wake of getting your 100th career sack, you decided to donate $100,000 to teachers around the country through your Kids in Need Foundation. You're going to support 25 teachers in each of the NFL cities you've played in: Phoenix, Jacksonville, Baltimore, Atlanta, for what you're calling the 100 Sack Giveback campaign. Explain how you came up with this, explain how it'll work, and why are you doing it?
Yeah, this is something that was been in the works since last year. I was, hopeful that I would reach this, milestone last year. And so I set everything up and kind of talked through the process, and, it kind of got, just it took a little longer. So, the plan got a little, we say spider webs on it, and I had to dust it off a little bit. The biggest thing was that I wanted to, when you have success, you want to share it with people, right? And I felt like, the communities I've been a part of, the people who, bought tickets and rooted me on, bought jerseys, and supported them along the way. Those are the people I wanted to support in those communities. And I feel like the best way to support a community in long term is through the teachers, because the most important part of the community is the youth and the future. So I really feel like the teachers were the best way to do so. And we partnered with the Kids in Need Foundation, giving away $500 worth of supplies and $5 in grants for them to do what they want. Just to be able to make sure that all the resources go to the teachers. And but the biggest thing was just wanting to support the communities that supported me. I also threw in the Denver, Colorado, where I grew up in my high school, and then also University of Miami as well. So altogether it's going to be 150,000, but the 100K, the 100 sack give back just has a better ring to it. But just wanted to support the communities that accepted me and brought me in, and was a part of my journey.
One of the things I like about this is that teachers all over the country, I think it is disgusting, quite frankly, that teachers have to dip into their own pockets to pay for school supplies. And, to me, I just feel like over and over again, we just don't treat teachers with the respect they deserve. And I want to know what got you interested in charitable work with the teaching profession.
Yeah, I definitely talked to teachers, over my years of going to schools and trying to, just motivate and talk with kids and talking with teachers as well. And you realize that so many of them they don't have the resources they need. And that bothers me as well. I just feel like, they have the most important job in all the country, all the world, really. And so, for me, it's simple. How do I best support them? And I've done a lot of things with teachers over the years, but this is just another way of connecting with them and helping out a few teachers. I wish I could do a whole lot more, and I do try to do more different ways. But I feel like they have the most important job in the whole world. So it's easy to be able to just connect with them and try to figure out, how can I support them? And I'm going to continue to try to do things even when I'm done playing football. Charity work is a part of me, and I will always continue to do charity work.
Calais, in 2019, you won the NFL Man of the Year award, one of the most prestigious awards in the NFL. Where does that philanthropic part of you come from?
Yeah, it starts with just growing up. Incredible parents, both my mom and dad. Have been, just very involved in the community. I've always, I was taught at a young age to, really just, if we see people in need, we help. Somebody runs out of gas, pushing their car. We got out, we helped them push their car to a gas station. Holidays, a lot of times we were, asking for, help along the holidays because we're a big family, and we always have, a lot, financially we were, more, poor than not over the years. And so, a lot of times we had to go get food boxes from different places, but along the way we would go and deliver and help and do charitable work as well. And my dad always had us in the community, just helping us any way we can. And so it was kind of established at a young age in me that, that as a community, we're stronger when we work together and we help each other. And then as I got into the NFL, I wanted to do something to honor my father who passed away when I was, a senior in high school. And so we started a foundation in his name. And so I started wanting to do things just to kind of carry on the principles of what he stood for, who he was, and just, feeling like, people should know, his journey. And so, we started a foundation in his honor and, try to do good things along the way. And, winning the Walter Payton Man of the Year award was incredible. Still my favorite, the most prestigious award I've ever won. I think it's the best award in all of sport. And, it's cool to see guys coming to me after the games, or even in the summertime when we're training and stuff and asking me what it takes to win it, telling me they want to win it one day. It's a good feeling, it really is. And then having to have the patch, on my jersey, I take a lot of pride in that. I think that kind of keeps me going too a little bit because I want to be able to play with that patch on my chest. So something, I think something earned is always better than something given. And so, I feel like, you never do anything trying to get awards, right? You do it just because you love it and you want to help people. But, when you do get an award for something like that, it's like, wow, like this is pretty cool. Glad people see, the hard work and effort.
I thought it was really interesting when Chris Long noted on his podcast how many people were so happy for you when you got your 100th sack. You haven't been on this team all that long. This is your first year with the Atlanta Falcons. And, so many guys were so happy. So many guys on Washington were happy for you to get that. And what does that mean to you when your peers are legitimately, honestly happy for you?
It's the best feeling in the world. This game is an incredible game because of the brotherhood. And, you can build those bonds fairly quickly, when you break bread together and you just kind of, you start, just finding ways to love each other, and so I felt so much love, in that moment, literally, from everybody, and it was just like, wow, like these people, like all my teammates that care, the coaches, and I did feel it from the other side too after the game, a lot of guys coming to me from Washington side, congratulate me, and then all through, my phone's blown up, and I was like, wow, I'm still trying to get back to everybody, it is incredible, the love, the outpour of people who've reached out to just, to show some love.
When you started looking at your phone, was there a text or two that amazed you that one guy or another reached out? Was there any text that really stood out to you?
The one I think that I was the most excited about was Bruce Smith. I think Bruce Smith has been essentially a mentor for a few years, but I grew up watching him dominate for so many years, and as a defensive end, he's one of the guys I looked up to, and so being able to become friends with him was cool. But when he says welcome to the club, that's different. And you take that differently. It's like, wow. He's the number one. History of sacks in the NFL. He's in a club of his own with 200. But when he says welcome to the club, I feel like like that's when it really hit me. Like, wow, I'm here now. That's cool.
That is really, really cool. Calais Campbell, listen, thanks so much for joining me on the podcast, but also really thanks so much for the person you are. It's really cool to see somebody who's had so much success, who really remembers how important it is to do things for other people. So all the best to you.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.